bringing in right now Larry Conley. And Larry, there has been great basketball here all week. 31 games since Wednesday, and that's the question, endurance. Tonight, this will be the 5th game in 6 days for these two teams.
Well, Roger, fatigue is going to be a factor, and depth on the bench is a factor. Then you got to look to St. Mary's and think it's to their advantage because they can go 8, maybe 9 players deep. I think East Central really stretches it even when they go to their 6th man. They're an Iron Man 5. They like to stay with those guys. They've done a great job all year long, but St. Mary's going to have a big advantage if fatigue's a factor.
The man for East Central is Vernell Kemp.
Absolutely. Vernell Kemp is averaging 24 points a game, and he's doing it down low. If they'll get the ball to him, they're going to have a great night. But on the other side, it's the outside play. Anthony Houston, you got to keep the ball in his hands. He's averaging 19 a game in this tournament and 6 assists.
We can expect an exciting finish because 3 of the last 5 years, the championship game in the NAIA has gone to overtime. And we welcome you back to Kemper Arena. Let's get our starting lineups right now from PA announcer Phil Hermanson.
That's okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the championship game of the 52nd Annual ARA Services NAIA National Basketball Tournament. This game will feature the Tigers of East Central Oklahoma and the Rattlers of St. Mary's University. But first, the introduction of the honorary coaches. For East Central Oklahoma, Scott Sider and Mike Messina of Levy and Craig. And for St. Mary's, Philip Pattison and Robert During of Doctors Pattison and During.
Cue the mic, and I thought he meant me to go ahead and cue you.
And now for your starting lineups. At guard for East Central Oklahoma, 6'1" senior from Ardmore, Oklahoma, number 10, Dwayne Godwin. At guard for St. Mary's, 6' sophomore from San Antonio, Texas, number 10, Adrian Wright. At guard for East Central Oklahoma, 6'4" senior from Corsicana, Texas, number 11, Terry Winston. At guard for St. Mary's, 5'10" senior from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, number 14, Anthony Houston. At forward for East Central Oklahoma, 6'4" senior from Dallas, Texas, number 21, Roderick Warren. At forward for St. Mary's, 6'4" senior from Houston, Texas, number 42, Ronald Todd. At forward for East Central Oklahoma, 6'6" senior from Ardmore, Oklahoma, number 33, Bobby Shelton. And at forward for St. Mary's, 6'6" sophomore from Atchison, Kansas, number 40, Steve O'Keefe. At center for East Central Oklahoma, 6'6" senior from Wewaca, Oklahoma, number 24, Vernell Kemp. At center for St. Mary's, 6'7" senior from Corpus Christi, Texas, number 34, Zachary Lawson. Your head coaches for East Central Oklahoma, Lee Child, and for St. Mary's, Buddy Meyer.
Well, a slightly different fashion statement by both of those coaches, and many years at their respective institutions. East Central University and St. Mary's, the NAIA Championship is coming up next. To the 52nd NAIA Championship, and how do they stop Vernell Kemp, Larry?
Well, Roger, I watched the scouting practice today for St. Mary's, and they're going to really try to play the left shoulder of Vernell Kemp down inside when the ball comes from the wing. You can see Lawson on the other side. Thomas, he's an outstanding player outside.
Kemp and Lawson to jump it, and one thing you'll notice immediately, only 2 men in striped shirts.
Yeah, that's really unusual. We've been looking at 3 officials all year long, and you see that in the NCAA and the NBA, but not in the NAIA tournament. They only use 2 officials.
42 is Ronald Thomas. That's O'Keefe. 40 out top. Houston is 14, and O'Keefe, good inside player. Good three-point shooting club, this St. Mary's team, over 40% during the regular season. They've kicked it up to 46% in the tournament, and that was Zachary Lawson.
Let's start for St. Mary's, and from an unaccustomed scoring source, down inside for St. Mary's.
Lawson averaging 11 points a game. Bobby Shelton, he is key for them. Larry, he has been in foul trouble, and 3 out of the 4 games they've played so far, but when he has been able to stay in the game without foul trouble, he has played awfully big for him.
Well, Bobby Shelton and Burnell Kemp have really carried the load for this East Central club, and they need a little bit more scoring from the other players.
Houston, and you see he's guarded by Roderick Warren. As from outside, that is Adrian Wright. So St. Mary's has hit their first 2 shots.
Roger, in watching the semifinal games on Saturday night, I was most impressed with the way these clubs played as far as discipline and handling the basketball. Both did an excellent job of controlling it. They didn't turn it over, and they got good shots. Both clubs were well coached.
There is the little man, Anthony Houston. And quickly now, St. Mary's has jumped out to a 6-2 lead over East Central University. 21 is Warren. He's out on top right now. He'll take the three-pointer. He misses it. And the rebound pulled down by Ronald Thomas.
Buddy Meyer and his shoot-around today said if they're going to beat us, they're going to beat us from the perimeter. They're not going to beat us inside. And you can see right there, they let them take that three-point shot.
Inside is O'Keefe. He's from up the road in Atchison, Kansas. Couple of fakes over Shelton. The bounce won't go. And the whistle underneath. And over the top is going to be number 34, Zachary Lawson.
Roger, this guy could be playing for the MVP of the NAIA tournament. Watch Anthony Houston blow right to the inside, and nobody there from East Central to even make an attempt to stop him. He's so very quick. He really is. Look at that average. 19 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. How do you think he's doing?
He's doing pretty good. That's how he's doing. 6'2". Deep from three-point land. Terry Winston won't go. Shelton the rebound. The miss underneath. Shelton gets it back and in.
Well, so far the strategy for St. Mary's has been correct. They're letting East Central shoot the ball on the outside, and they're not converting, but they can't allow those second and third shots. East Central is a strong offensive rebounding team.
Shelton, one of the top rebounders in the nation. Baseline move by Houston. O'Keefe from about 15. Won't go, and Shelton another rebound. Bobby Shelton on the season, pulling down over 8 rebounds a game.
Oh, what a pass.
Kemp underneath puts it up and in.
Roger, East Central has a rebound margin of nearly 9. I mean, they really pound the offensive glass, and you'd think for a club that really isn't very deep, you wouldn't get that kind of offensive rebounding, because oftentimes you get a lot of fouls when you crash those boards.
A lot of those are the fact that they like to go inside to Kemp, and a whistle immediately, and the foul's going to be on Zachary Lawson. That's his second.
Watch the return here. Now watch the battle inside. Kemp comes right back with it and sticks it back up and in. And again, it's that offensive rebounding that's carried them, I think, in a long way in this tournament. St. Mary's going to have to do something to offset that.
You see, you talked about that margin, 8.6 right there. Team rebounds in the opponents for East Central. But they go inside a lot, Larry, so they get a lot of their own misses.
They do, and obviously it's Kemp that really gets most of those, and Bobby Shelton, too.
Houston outside, and Shelton, look at him keep it alive and pull it down. Shelton's got 4 rebounds already. Roderick Warren, he's 21. Shelton's matched up on Lawson inside, and from East Central, Larry, you're going to see nothing but man-to-man defense, and St. Mary's likes the same thing. Shelton puts it up. Won't go. Another rebound, pull up and in, and that was Terry Winston.
And again, Roger, it was another stick back, another offensive rebound inside for East Central.
And East Central's got the lead, 8-6. Just 4 minutes gone in this NAIA championship game from Kansas City. All right, this has been a Hoop Junkies delight. Starting on Wednesday, they start playing at 9 in the morning. They go all the way to midnight. 31 games. I don't know where else in the world you can see 31 games at one site in 1 week. Adrian Wright misses the shot. Shelton, another rebound.
Getting everything. He also has good position. He finds out where that ball's going to come off. And I think that's nothing but experience right there. Bobby Shelton, the 6'6" senior.
Outside, Winston, three-pointer. So after trailing 6-2, East Central has run off 9 unanswered points. It's 11-6.
Buddy Meyer may have to reconsider his defensive strategy. He may have to come out and guard those guys if they keep that up.
Well, St. Mary's has been blanked on the board so far.
Nice move. Good cut.
And the foul before the shot. Foul's going to be on number 11, Terry Winston. Well, they're going to call it on 10, Godwin, the senior from Ardmore, Oklahoma. And a timeout on the floor as you take a look at the coach for East Central, Wayne Cobb.
defensive rebounding. Watch Bobby Shelton on the inside go up and grab this one. He's having an outstanding first half off of that backboard. That's a defensive rebound. Now let's go to the offensive end. A little bit of a jump hook, more of a throw than a hook. Throws it up inside. Now watch Winston go right back up inside and lay it in. Here's the rebounding numbers so far, and they obviously are very heavily in favor of East Central.
How about 8-2? Try that on for size. Yeah, Bobby Shelton, I mentioned the game he avoided foul trouble in this tournament. He had 28 points and 13 rebounds in the victory over Siena Heights, and that was in the third round. And so he is a big factor as, well, I'll tell you what, Warren has done a great job on Anthony Houston so far. They throw the ball away inside, and Shelton comes up with it.
Roger, I think you make a great point, and Wayne Cobb has all the confidence in the world in Roderick Warren, who's one of their best defensive players, if not their best.
Three-pointer won't go outside, and the rebound, and that's the man number 14, Anthony Houston.
Great.
Quick at the other end, and the foul. And the foul's going to be on Roderick Warren. That's his first.
Watch Anthony Houston. This is the one thing he's done well all year, is push the ball up the court. He got it in the hands of the right man, and coming across the top was Roderick Warren with a foul. You know, if Houston handles the ball most of the time for this St. Mary's club, they're going to be in good shape. But if Warren can stick with him and keep the ball out of his hands, then I think East Central's got a great chance of winning this national championship.
Ronald Thomas, a 72% free throw shooter, hits them both. And finally, after a 9-0 run, St. Mary's gets back on the board. It's 11-8. 14:25 to go first half from Kemper Arena in Kansas City. They're really packing it in. They're giving him that three-point shot right now, Larry. As they go to Kemp inside, he misses the gimme. And the whistle over the top is going to be on Bobby Shelton.
And that's the one shot that Kemp's been able to get throughout this entire tournament to get that 24-point-per-game average. He just simply gets it on the block, he wheels and goes to the baseline and lays it up, and he missed his first opportunity.
There's a look at the head coach from East Central, Wayne Cobb. He's been there 10 years. East Central, located in Ada, Oklahoma, about 80 miles from Oklahoma City, an enrollment of 4,200. And they have done awfully well during Cobb's tenure there, 63% winning percentage. And this obviously his very best season as a whistle away from the basketball. And the foul's going to be on 42, Ronald Thomas. As you take a look at the St. Mary's senior from Houston, Texas.
Look how packed in they are, Roger. We talked about this at the beginning of the show, how St. Mary's is going to allow East Central to take that outside shot and try to pack it in. Vernell Kemp missed his first chance.
Shelton, boy, he's looking at Kemp, begging for it, and he got it.
He wants it. I'm telling you,
begging for it.
he is like a kid who's walked into a candy store with a sugar fit. He wants it down there so badly, he screams for it.
13-8, 5-point lead. East Central University. St. Mary's on top, Adrian Wright. The tip up and in by Steve O'Keefe. O'Keefe hangs around the basket, averages 7 points over 5 rebounds a game, and he's got his hands full down low with Vernell Kemp.
They're really packing it back inside. O'Keefe's going to get the foul.
That's going to be the first foul on Steve O'Keefe.
When you got a lot of confidence in your inside game, you try to get the ball to the man who wants it. Watch Vernell Kemp work against Steve O'Keefe. Look at that positioning. Look at him scream for it. Says, give me the basketball. Oh, that's great play. I mean, that is working aggressively to get the ball.
And Kemp is going to be called for traveling. Now, when he gets it inside, Larry, he's not going to kick it back out too often.
No, he's not, and neither is Shelton. Both Shelton and Kemp, when they get the ball in there, they're not going to give it up. It's either going to go up or they're going to be fouled.
Anthony Houston for St. Mary's, a senior from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Thomas and Houston, they've combined for a lot of scoring together, haven't they?
Well, it's almost 40 points per game in this tournament. Kind of interesting. I think on the other end, oh, look at that great pass.
Oh, the slam by Lawson.
Ronald Thomas with a great pass.
Zachary Lawson, 11 points and 7 rebounds a game. And he's another senior from Corpus Christi. Both of these teams are very senior-oriented ball clubs. East Central has 8 seniors all told. Down below, no basket, the foul on the floor.
This is another one of the plays that East Central likes to run. They like to get the ball to Shelton, high post. and get it down in. Now, here's the play before that when the pass came from Thomas down inside. Well, that's the way to work the ball in there.
That last foul was on 10. Adrian White, his first foul. Team fouls even at 4 apiece. Look at, they're giving him the three-point shot. Shelton will flash out on top, and that's blocked. Lawson got a piece of it, but Kemp got it, put it up close. And the rebound by Thomas, and Bobby Shelton with his second foul over the top.
He's the one guy they can ill afford to lose on the inside. They've got a good player in Kemp in there, but Shelton really is kind of the blue-collar worker. He brings his lunch pail to work. He passes the ball very well to Kemp, gets it to him in that low post, but he's also a banger on that backboard.
12:05 to go. First half, Lawson turnaround shot, air ball, and Shelton comes up with it. East Central's got the 3-on-2, but Shelton pulls up with it. They kick it in the corner. Three-point land and in by Roderick Warren.
3 or 2. I think they gave him a 2 on it.
Great job.
There goes Houston. Nobody there to help.
Easy does it.
Oh.
Anthony Houston's got 4. Buddy Meyer, who's the 5th leading scorer in the history of St. Mary's University, 1 notch ahead of him. Guy still playing in the NBA by the name of Robert Reed. Shelton inside, off the glass, and he's fouled, and that's going to be 3 on Zachary Lawson.
Roger, that time a little different look by East Central. They actually took the ball inside, and Shelton took one side of the lane, and Kemp took the other. In the past, they've been flashing Shelton to the top. Shelton turns, looks inside to Kemp. That time they put both of them low and put 2 wing players on either side. Shelton was open.
Shelton 72% from the free throw line, and he misses the first one.
Take a look. Now look at both guys down low on the post. You see the ball actually came from the top instead of from the wing position there, but in the past it's been Shelton moving to the free throw line and dumping it in.
Shelton was first team all-conference and first team all-district, even ahead of Vernell Kemp, which is kind of surprising, and Kemp is in the running for the MVP of this championship.
Al had UConn down on the ropes, but the defending champs win it 73-72. Cliff Robinson had 22, and the Billikens of St. Louis, down 12 in the second half, come back and beat Wisconsin 73-68. Let's go back to Kansas City.
Now the chicken's everywhere, and look at some chicklets.
Chicklets. All right.
East Central leads St. Mary's 16-14, 11:21 to go first half. Larry Conley, Roger Twyville along with you from Kansas City, and Wayne Cobb, the head coach at East Central. And there's Buddy Meyer. He spent his whole adult life at St. Mary's University. Came out of the Air Force and went right to St. Mary's as a student, was a graduate assistant coach for many years, head coach. He's been chasing this thing for how long, right?
Well, he's been back, 61, 62 as a player. That's been a long, long time. You know what I like about this championship? The fact that one of these two guys who've never won the NAIA championship, one of them is going to go home a victor.
Substitution now, Paparonis in for East Central. He wears number 32. O'Keefe outside right now for St. Mary's. Thomas hits it, and it's just counted as a 2.
Ronald Thomas has been averaging 20 points a game in this tournament. In fact, between he and Houston, they're actually averaging 40 points a game. 40 of the 58 they've been averaging.
Paparonis is a big, strong player. He's a 6'7", 230-pounder from Oklahoma City. He was a 2-year starter, and look at him setting those back picks down on the baseline. Three-point land, and nailed out there by Terry Winston. His second three-pointer.
Roger, I will tell you that if East Central can get that shot from Winston all night, it's going to be really tough on St. Mary's because they're going to have to come out and get him, and that's going to open it up on the inside for Kemp and Shelton.
19-16. Paparonis guarding Lawson. Remember, Lawson with 3 fouls, and Paparonis got a piece of it. And the foul away from the ball, and not a good one on Ronald Thomas. That's his second. So now St. Mary's with some real trouble. As Zachary Lawson has 3, Ronald Thomas has 2. And as Buddy Meyer looked on, we'll show you the East Central file, their regular season record, the postseason record, their overall record, the tournament seed, and the best tourney finish.
Now, again, you're going to see St. Mary's packing it back on the inside, trying to keep Vernell Kemp from getting the ball. They've got that open shot outside. You can see St. Mary's defense coming out a little bit more, maybe a couple extra steps, extending that defense a little bit more.
East Central's on a 12-game winning streak, as from the corner, Warren misses, but there is Winston. He misses. Kemp puts it up and in. And the foul underneath, and the basket counts.
And Roger, again, it's the offensive rebound of East Central University. They just are going at the glass so hard, they're getting lots of opportunities in there. Here's the open shot again from the outside. Look at the miss, the follow-up, one offensive rebound. Who got it? Kemp. Second offensive rebound, and he knows what to do with it.
And the second foul on O'Keefe as Kemp, a 61% free throw shooter, went to the line over 200 times so far this year.
215 times. It's an average of about 7 a game. Well, you don't think that's a lot, but 215 attempts are a lot of free throws in a year.
22-16. St. Mary's has got 51 Everett Henderson in there right now, 6'5" sophomore from Milwaukee. And the foul underneath as St. Mary's 21-5 on the regular season, the postseason record, the tournament seed, and their best tourney finish ever, 4th in 75. They had Bobby Joe Reed back there.
Oh, what a great block down inside. Oh, Vernell Kemp all over that ball. East Central doing a good job of that defense. They're in a man-to-man right now, and they're playing it tough. Again, it's Roderick Warren doing a good job on Houston.
He really has done a tremendous job. Now, he's got a great height advantage. He's 6'4", and Houston's just 5'10", so he's got 6 inches. As Thomas takes it to the hole, and the foul, it's going to be called on number 11, Terry Winston, and that's his first.
Bodies went flying for East Central. In fact, there were 3 of them on the ground. Let's ISO a little bit on Houston. Number 14 right there for St. Mary's. You see him making the break. But look at the good job that Roderick Warren is doing on him, staying right with him. And again, as you pointed out, Roger, that 6-inch or 4-inch height advantage, no, it'd be 6-inch height advantage he's got on him, really is something he can use. It's good to keep Anthony Houston away from that inside.
See what Thomas has done in the tournament. And at the free throw line, Ronald Thomas 74%. He misses the first one.
He had 20 against Central Washington in the semifinal game on Saturday night. I think was really the big reason why they were able to pull that game out. He was the leading scorer in that game.
Thomas has hit 3 out of 4. He's got 5 points, and it's 22-17. Now, Everett Henderson guarding Paparonis inside.
That may look like a zone, folks, but it's not. They're in a man-to-man defense. It's just that East Central is not making any cut through. When somebody goes through, they'll go with them.
Paparonis, the jump hook, won't go. Kemp underneath is Kemp. And Vernell Kemp now with 9 points. And it's 24-17.
You know, Roger, he's getting most of those on second shots. He's going back and getting the offensive rebound.
Kemp played junior college ball in Oklahoma, then transferred to Centenary. And flat out homesick is what he said. And transferred to East Central as the foul down low.
Vernell Kemp with those 9 points. Watch the shot and the miss right here by Paparonis on the inside. Kemp with a good, strong rebound. You know what I like about him? Not just his ability to catch the ball and put it up quickly, but he's a quick jumper. When the ball comes off, he's there quickly. He's in position to grab it, and he doesn't waste time. He goes right back to it into the basket. I like the way he plays.
He doesn't jump as well, but physically, he reminds me a lot of Terry Tyler, who played at Detroit and with the Pistons for a lot of years. Should I say he was coached by Dick Vitale for a while?
Sure, go ahead. Tell you one thing, he's got an active body. You know, a lot of guys you hear scouts talk about active bodies. That's the type of player Vernell Kemp is. Good active body.
24-19. Now the press that time by St. Mary's. 3-on-2. The pull up to Paparonis down low, and he gets it.
East Central not bothered at all by the pressure that time. They beat it at a 3-on-2 break, and easy layup for Paparonis.
26-19, 7-point lead. That has been the biggest lead for East Central University. Both these teams looking for their first NAIA championship. And I don't know whether it's more of an endurance contest or a basketball tournament at times, but these two teams have played a lot of ball this week.
You know what you start to see when you see fatigue? You see a lot of turnovers, but these clubs don't turn the ball over that much.
Thomas, pull up, won't go. O'Keefe battling for it. Paparonis comes down with it.
The domination so far on the backboard has been East Central's reason, and the reason they're ahead by 7 right now.
Work, Everett! Work, Everett!
East Central's really going to take their time. They've got that three-point shot if they want it. And now they're going to take it. Terry Winston misses it, but sneaking over is Dwayne Godwin to pick up the loose ball.
They're getting everything coming off of that offensive glass. stays open is Roderick Warren.
Godwin, the three won't go, and the rebound pulled down by Ronald Thomas.
Buddy Myers not going to change that defensive strategy. He's going to let him continue to put it up from out there.
That's Thomas. Won't go. O'Keefe thought he was going to finally get a rebound, but very active. Dwayne Godwin comes over to strip it away. Godwin's he's quite a player. 12 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds a game. So as Houston's very active at the guard position for St. Mary's, so is Dwayne Godwin. As the three-pointer outside won't go, and Paparonis keeps it alive.
Offensive rebounding again. East Central really struggling from the perimeter. They cannot get a shot to go in, but it doesn't make any difference because they're getting all the rebounds.
Inside Kemp, the great pass from outside, and Dwayne Godwin.
Oh, is that a good-looking delivery by Godwin?
Kemp's got 11. St. Mary's looks a bit lethargic right now.
I think they look
6:05.
I think they look a little tired.
I thought that was the same thing. I was just getting too fancy for you. That's what I meant.
A little mental fatigue.
I must have been doing a crossword puzzle today or something. Foul outside. And the foul on Terry Winston, which is his third. And Bobby Shelton will check back in. Louisiana and Auburn, Alabama. The other side says,
Understand you're going to be in Bowling Green.
I'll be in Bowling Green.
Hilltoppers. Kentucky Hilltoppers.
A couple substitutions right now. As for East Central, number 15, Kevin Bradsher, a 6'2", 185 senior from Houston, checks in. And also 54, Joe Baker, a 6'5 senior from Kerrville, for St. Mary's. And the free throws are good. We've got a timeout. 28-21. East Central leads St. Mary's.
But when they miss, they're right there to grab the rebound, and that's the reason they're leading in this first half. Now watch them take the ball right back out. Dwayne Godwin's going to move to the left side, kick it to the wing. It'll come back to him, and he'll find his favorite target, Burnell Kemp, right in the middle, and he just turns and lays it in. That second and third shots are really helping East Central.
28-21, and East Central with 18 rebounds. St. Mary's just 5, and St. Mary's has brought in 54, Joe Baker, also 20, Medrick Bodie, a freshman. And East Central has countered with Kevin Bradsher, number 15, who is probably their best athlete. The man with the basketball right there, he's a transfer. Paparonis being guarded by O'Keefe. Paparonis, the fall away, and O'Keefe got a piece of it.
Look at the block by O'Keefe.
5:30 left to go first half. 28-21, 7-point lead. 9 has been the biggest for East Central. St. Mary's jumped out on top 6-2 then. East Central went on that 9-0 run. They've maintained the lead throughout the remainder. That's Bodie, number 20, a walk-on. Not only did he walk on, he came by a bus from Uniontown, Alabama, tried out in his jeans, and looked like he was a player. So Buddy Myers kept him. That's his first shot. Won't go. O'Keefe over the top and gets it. O'Keefe, good move back to the basket. No whistle. Bobby Shelton is checked back in for East Central.
You know, with Burnell Kemp out of the lineup right now, it kind of changes the defensive strategy St. Mary's wants to use. They can go straight man-to-man and pull it back out. Although the way that East Central's been shooting from the outside, I'm not sure they want to.
Godwin, he misses. O'Keefe the rebound.
Very poor shooting from the outside. Perimeter shooting is lacking for East Central. St. Mary's knows that.
Warren, Houston, he's done an outstanding job so far in this first half.
Bobby, don't foul that guy now. Don't foul him, Bobby. Whatever you do, don't foul him.
St. Mary's trying to run that half-court game. Good individual move there.
But he misses it. Shelton gets another rebound. Bradsher, the fake, stripped from behind by Bodie.
Bodie's an active player. He's in here doing things, making things happen on the floor.
O'Keefe, that's a two-pointer. He hits it. Steve O'Keefe. The second hoop for the sophomore from Atchison, Kansas, who his entire family went to St. Mary's. Bradsher off the glass, won't go. Paparonis tries to follow. Loose ball outside. And Adrian Wright comes up with a 3-on-2. The pull-up hop from the side. And East Central's Warren comes away with it.
I don't think that's a shot right now that Buddy Myers wanted to see.
Godwin. Oh, good move. Puts it up, won't go, and they're going to let him play, Larry.
I'll tell you, last 2 trips, it's evident they are.
I think it's evident with just 2 officials. They let him play a lot more than with 3, huh?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Probably is, because there's not as much floor coverage right now with 2 officials as opposed to 3.
A lot of incidental contact he's gotten away with. 28-23, less than 3 minutes to go. Houston for 3!
Now, if he gets cranked up, St. Mary's will start rolling.
At the other end, loose ball, it'll go to East Central University, and Vernell Kemp will check back into the game, and we've got a timeout with 2:40 left to go, first half. And St. Mary's has got a one-time 9-point lead down to 2. Good rebounding, East Central 22-10 on the boards, but St. Mary's has picked it up here in the last few moments. Buddy Meyer, the head coach at St. Mary's, and he's been at that school. It's his 11th year as head coach. He says, I'm kind of bald, which relates to Auerbach, and I'm kind of fat like Layden, but I'm not that great a coach. It's been the players who've gotten us this far.
You know, I went to a shoot-around today, and they were practicing at Rockhurst College.
Right.
And in 1964, when he was a player, they were beaten in the quarterfinals. Rockhurst went on and won the NAIA championship that year.
Great team.
He was reminiscing about that.
Rockhurst with players Ralph Telkin, Pat Caldwell, a guy named Dick Hennier, who I was a bat boy for when he was playing baseball. And great Rockhurst teams back in the mid-60s. East Central shooting 12 for 33. St. Mary's 9 for 23. And a whistle away from the ball, and the foul is going to be on Adrian Wright. And that's his second.
I'll tell you, it was a pretty good acting job of Dwayne Godwin, too. He looked like he'd been run over by a truck, and I think he was just barely bumped.
And both teams now will march to the free throw line with 2:14 left to go in the first half. As you take a look at Dwayne Godwin at the line, a 6'1" senior from Ardmore, Oklahoma. And checking back into the game for St. Mary's is 42, Ronald Thomas.
I'll say this for Buddy Meyer. He really hasn't changed his defensive strategy at all in this first half. When he said he was going to make him beat him from the perimeter, he meant it. He has stayed in there. He's packed it back into the paint. He's not allowed the ball to come in there. It's just that the offensive rebound that East Central has thrown at him is what's caused him to be behind.
Godwin has just 1 point, averaging 12 points per game. The man with the goggles you saw there was 54, Joe Baker, with the rebound. Houston, he's got that side again, the pump, and he draws the foul this time, and that's what he wants to do. Roderick Warren was the man who picks up the foul, his second. Coming up at halftime, NIT scores and highlights with John Saunders. As Warren picks up his second foul. And
Roger, you know, in 2 games in this tournament, Anthony Houston has had in one game 11 assists, and in another one 10. So he can score and give it up. In fact, he had a monstrous game against Central Washington in the semifinals. 26 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals.
Well, he's one of only 2 Rattler players to be named a 4-time all-conference player as he makes the steal there and is fouled on his way up. The other is his head coach, Buddy Meyer.
Let's take a look at the full court pressure by St. Mary's and watch Anthony Houston jump in here. Good anticipation. He knew where the offensive player was, and he moved right in position to make the steal. One of several he's made in this tournament. Anthony Houston, one of the better players the NAIA has to present.
Houston has been perfect in the free throw line. He's now 5 out of 5. And make it 6 out of 6.
Well, they've come back and taken the lead.
They have. 30-29, 1-point lead with 1:55 left to go first half.
Pretty good scrambling defense. 1-2-2, good trap. Almost had another steal. O'Keefe almost there.
Kemp drops it to Paparonis. He misses the gimme. Tips it again 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Look at the rebounding. Bradsher and knocks it down. Kevin Bradsher on the 6th time.
That's great board work.
That's crashing the glass.
That is great board work. Nothing but Tigers all over the top of that backboard.
I think somebody ought to put a football uniform on Paparonis. Thomas looking inside, trying to find O'Keefe, and Paparonis over the top.
Let's count them again. There's one. There's two. That little touch there. There's three. One back in.
Now, we had
Four,
a couple more before that. There were six. There were six. I wouldn't lie to you. First foul on Paparonis. And O'Keefe goes to the line. Misses that one. Paparonis with the rebound. Well, there's been a real disparity in the free throw shot. East Central has only been to the line 5 times, and a whistle away from the ball. The foul's going to be on 54, Joe Baker.
So difficult to guard Vernell Kemp inside because he really likes to move back and forth across that lane, and he'll make that defensive player work. He gets so low on his positioning, and he uses his backside and a little bit of elbows to kind of lock that guy in. And once he gets in there and gets that position and calls for that ball, he's tough to stop.
Kemp's got 11 points and make it 12 now as he hits the front end of a 1-and-1.
You know, Roger, there's so many coaches around the country that have got big guys. I'm talking about teams that have got bigger players, that if they could teach that kind of movement like Vernell Kemp has, so get in low on the post and receive the ball the way he does, they'd be a lot better players.
And another foul called. And they're going to go back down to the other end as Dwayne picks up his second win. So we've got a lot of people in foul trouble right now. There's a very focused head coach. Runs a good, solid practice, quite a disciplinarian.
Yeah, he was 17-2 after Christmas.
Well, he got off to, he got off really, Larry, to a rather slow start this year. As you take a look, they lost 3 of their first 4. He had 8 seniors this year, and he wasn't really worried about getting off to a good start. As a matter of fact, he started practice later than usual. Look at him. He's getting a guy up off the bench. That's the fastest substitution I've ever seen.
You know who he's mad at? I think it's Dalton he's upset with. No, it's not. It's Robert Johnson he's upset with. He went into the lane. That's going to give St. Mary's a couple of extra free throws.
So Johnson will sit down. Johnson had just checked into the game. And coming in now for East Central is Mike Rowe as the free throw is missed, and Houston gets it back.
They may want to decide to take the last shot of this first half. There's only about 5-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock.
41-35.
Good movement. Keep it alive. Make sure you don't get the 5-second call. Got a foul?
Yeah.
Oh, offensive foul.
Called an illegal pick on 54, Joe Baker. That's his second.
Well, that's a tough call right there.
The Rattlers.
I like that.
It's a good nickname.
Will they strike you?
Couple of substitutions now. St. Mary's will send in Sam Hines, a 5'10 freshman from Houston. And Johnson will check back in, and Godwin will sit out.
I'm trying to think, is there one other team that I know that has the Rattlers? Is it A&M, the Rattlers?
I think so, yeah. You see the free throw disparity right there. And the miss, and O'Keefe loses it, but picked up by Bodie. "17 seconds left to go, first half. Watch the clock wind down. St. Mary's trails by 2. Houston will take it on his own, misses, and Paparonis the rebound. They've got time, and they got Johnson. Pull-up pop. And that'll end the first half. From Kemper Arena in Kansas City, Missouri, East Central University leads St. Mary's 32-30. Let's go back to our ESPN studios right now, and John Son of the NAIA. And Jeff, let's talk a little bit about your organization, some of the things happening with the NAIA.
Well, Roger, I think like everyone in college athletics, we're trying to understand that a student comes to college to get a college education. We're trying to pass rules that make sure that if he participates 4 years, they'll get a degree. We think that's important.
And, of course, you've got this very unique basketball tournament here in Kansas City where I guess you can see more games in 1 week than you can anywhere else in the world.
It's amazing. 32 teams come in, play for 6 days. It really is one of a kind. All over the United States, the youngsters get a good experience. It's good for us, good for Kansas City.
Jeff, we wish you continued success with this tournament and the NAIA. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roger.
Dr. Jefferson Ferris, Executive Director of the NAIA. Halftime at Kemper Arena in Kansas City, and East Central leads St. Mary's by 2. We'll be right back. Here today, but good crowd here tonight for the
First day of spring?
Yeah.
Oh. Little snow? Yeah, a lot of snow.
Anyway, Larry Conley, Roger Twyville back with you. And field goal percentage, Larry, was it good defense or just poor shooting?
Combination of things. I think obviously for East Central there was no defense at all on the perimeter shooting. You can see how poorly they shot, 13 of 38. Look how packed in that defense is right now. St. Mary's way off. East Central just putting it up at will. They just couldn't get anything to go for them in the first half.
Rebound was the big story. East Central with 27, St. Mary's just 14.
Well, there were a lot of misses, obviously, in that first half, and you know East Central got most of them. Now, watch on the inside right here. You're going to see the good man, Paparonis, take it back up inside, and watch Kemp go right back up. This almost typifies the entire first half because East Central got so many offensive rebounds and stickbacks. They scored a lot on the inside, and the free throws right there, you can see St. Mary's doing a much better job and a lot more chances at the charity stripe than East Central.
And that's why St. Mary's is in the game and just down by 2, even though they were out-rebounded by so many. And Paparonis did a tremendous job off the bench. A key matchup where you see Kemp and Houston there, both doing a great job as we expected with 12 and 13 points. But Paparonis had 7 rebounds in 11 minutes.
I think the key stat in that first half of those 14 offensive rebounds that East Central was able to pull down.
We're underway, second half for the 52nd NAIA Championship. Three-pointer from outside. Exactly what Buddy Meyer wants his team to do. Let East Central have that outside shot.
You know, his words keep ringing in my ears today at that shoot-around. If they're going to beat us, they're going to beat us from the perimeter.
Same starting lineup in there for both teams. And East Central, a couple of players with 3 fouls apiece. As Thomas off the glass, won't go, follows his own miss over the top, and the foul's going to be on Ronald Thomas, and that is his 3rd.
Let's go! Thomas with 7 points in the first half has been averaging 20 in this tournament. He's an offensive star for this St. Mary's club.
back.
A good toss out. 3 on 2.
Nicely over the top. Warren to Kemp and in.
You get numbers like that with Kemp on the baseline, you can almost chalk it up.
Kemp now with 14 points, and it's 34-30. St. Mary's jumped out to a 6-2 lead, and then 9 unanswered points by East Central. They held that lead, tied it up late in the first half, did St. Mary's, and then the 2-point halftime advantage. O'Keefe down low, blocked by Kemp from behind. Now, they don't do much switching off East Central defensively, and this is the break on the last play.
This was the good play on the inside. Kemp wide open. Houston gambled a little bit and thought maybe the pass might go the other way, and a good move by Kemp to sneak on that baseline and get open.
Kemp guarding Lawson down there. Kemp wants to be a basketball coach when he graduates. He says, I want to start at the junior high level and work with little kids. I think Vernell Kemp with realistic expectations as the 3-pointer outside by Adrian Wright. Vernell Kemp maybe could play in that 6'5" and under league.
Possibly.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a good, again, I said a live body. He really has got a live body.
Godwin misses, and Shelton over the top. No ball. Here comes Houston. The spin.
Look at
off
Houston.
the glass. Anthony Houston.
Oh, look at the throw out.
Long pass to the other end, and they lose it as Terry Winston can't hold on to it, and we're tied at 34, just underway, second half.
Anthony Houston, show us something, and he does. Look at this move. Oh, yes, a little 360, kiss off the glass. Thank you. Down low. Oh, yeah, he can run it. 5-10.
Anthony Houston now. 14 points, and he's been a big factor for St. Mary's as they've tied this thing up now at 34. Lawson out to O'Keefe, and they'll swing it back on top. Houston, that's a 2, in and out, won't go, and Kemp the rebound.
Wayne Godwin pushing it up the floor. St. Mary's gets back on defense very well. Tough for East Central to have any kind of break to get down the floor in transition and get a basket. Look at Kemp
Warren
underneath.
misses it, and Thomas pulls down the rebound.
Roger, I haven't seen a player all year work harder trying to get open than Vernell Kemp does.
He loves to get that basketball, doesn't he? O'Keefe with the screen down low, the miss, the tip. And over the top is going to be Zachary Lawson, as Lawson will pick up his third foul. These are some of the players currently in the NBA who played in the NAIA. Robert Reed from St. Mary's, Dennis Rodman from Southeastern Oklahoma, Terry Porter, great guard from Wisconsin Stevens Point, Sedell Threet, Scottie Pippen, Jack Sikma, Eddie Wilkins, and Rick Mahorn.
I could take that team and play.
You could play anywhere with them. Press is broken by East Central. Warren the pull-up, and he hits it.
Nice job by Warren. Keeping it right in play. Didn't commit himself. The defender stayed back, and he took a little 6-foot kiss shot. Oh, that's nice.
Roderick Warren with 4 points, and East Central by 2. As we mentioned at the top, 3 of the last 5 years, the championship game has gone to overtime. One of the other years, it was a 2-point game, and then you had your obligatory blowout one of those years. Houston outside misses it, loses it, and they call traveling as he trips over Godwin.
Godwin with a good defensive play, laying on his back. He was down, and O'Keefe tripped over him. There's nothing you can do about that. The referee's got to make the call. Godwin gets a turnover while laying flat on his back.
Three-quarter pressure right now by St. Mary's. And they've got Kemp open to Shelton down low and in. No, they're going to wave it off. They're going to wave it off and call the foul on Ronald Thomas, and that is his 4th.
So that's a big foul there.
That's with 16:23 left to go in this game. So mark that down. And the score 36-34 as Medrick Bodie will check into the game. So what you give up there, or what St. Mary's gives up, is Bodie at 5'10", a freshman checks in, and Thomas, a 6'4" senior, goes out.
Bodie was pretty active in that first half. He came in, did some good defensive work, gave up some good passes. They might not lose a whole lot. The only thing they lose is a lot of height.
Three-pointer outside won't go by Godwin. Just around. East Central's got their hand on the basketball and just couldn't grab hold.
Well, I'll tell you what, it takes courage to stay with your defensive strategy the way Buddy Meyer is doing right now. He's going to continue to make them shoot the ball from the outside.
You know, it's interesting, both of these coaches, Buddy Meyer and Cobb, both graduated from the respective schools that they coach at right now, and you find that a lot in the NAIA. That's Bodie, freshman. 3A player of the year in Alabama. No one recruited him back there. So he came out to St. Mary's. The double pump off the glass won't go. Tipped around. And look at St. Mary's getting much more active, but it's pulled down by East Central, and Godwin takes it in. His first field goal.
Pretty good move in open court right there. He got the ball about midcourt and took it all the way in. Wasn't even challenged.
And it's a 4-point East Central lead. 15-15 left to go from Kemper Arena in Kansas City.
Roger, you made a good point right there. That's the first time we've seen St. Mary's get real active on the board.
Ball falls off the rim, and Kemp. And now East Central picking up the pace a bit on offense. Look at Kemp. He wants it. They won't give it to him. Shelton on top, misses, and Shelton goes after his missed shot but loses it. But great hustle there by Bobby Shelton.
And Wayne pops all over him. He said, why did you take that shot? The kid's laying on the floor over there.
There's a look at the East Central University coach, 48-year-old Wayne Cobb. We'll be right back. Left to go in this NAIA championship. The state of Oklahoma hoops. Well, northeastern Oklahoma won the National Junior College Championship in Hutchinson on Saturday night, Hutchinson, Kansas. East Central's the NAIA finalist. Oklahoma's in the Sweet 16. Oklahoma State's second round of the NIT. And before this game tonight, Southern Nazarene won the NAIA Women's Championship.
2-point win for them. Chaplin out of South Carolina. Great basketball game.
8,529 the attendance tonight here at Kemper Arena in Kansas City. Outside and knocked down by Adrian Wright.
Well, if he can get loosened up a little bit and get some points, he'll take some of that scoring pressure off of Anthony Houston. Look at the movement.
Blocked from behind, but then a whistle called. I'll tell you, O'Keefe blocked it, but then Zachary Lawson, after the shot.
East Central not having a whole lot of problems with the St. Mary's press. They're really getting the ball up the floor very quickly. Now watch the middle. See him to bounce pass. He's going to should have made a bounce pass right there, but he got the ball to Godwin, who was streaking to the other end, and nobody covered from St. Mary's. Hard to catch that ball on the run like that. You ought to give him a bounce pass.
Zachary Lawson now with 4 fouls, and Thomas with 4 as Godwin hits the first of 2. If you take a look at Dwayne Godwin, the senior from Ardmore, Oklahoma, 68% free throw shooter, gets both of those. Obanua Obaseki has checked into the game for St. Mary's right now. He's a freshman from Benin City, Nigeria. A 6'3", 185-pounder. Obaseki wears 22.
And he just got his hands on the ball.
40, 36. Bodie out top and in.
Well, Obaseki set a great screen to get Bodie free out top on the elbow.
First 2 for Medrick Bodie, and it's a 2-point game at 40-30.
Look at that man-to-man pressure. St. Mary's really turned it up now.
They've got a very small lineup in there. O'Keefe at 6'5", their biggest player. And the whistle immediately, and the foul on Obaseki, number 22. Well, he's got 5 to give up, doesn't he, Larry?
Stay put, Rod.
Can we call him double O?
Stay put, Rod.
Obaseki really pretty active. Been in there about 30 seconds. Good pass.
And Kemp with the following in after the miss by Terry Winston.
The offensive rebounding continues to be a problem. A problem for St. Mary's, not a problem for East Central.
16 points for Vernell Kemp. 42-38. 13:35 left to go.
Go in. Stay with it.
East Central plays in a very tough district, District 9 in Oklahoma, as Houston takes it inside and is going to be fouled by number 21, Roderick Warren, and that's the 4th on Roderick Warren.
The story of this basketball game really has been the offensive rebounding of East Central. Watch Vernell Kemp on the right side follow this shot up. Nobody there to block him out. I tell you what, when a shot goes up for East Central, I'm going to find Kemp somewhere on the floor and keep him away from there.
You see rebounding in the second half. St. Mary's doing a much better job out rebounding East Central 7-5, but East Central came within 1 game of 3 other trips to Kansas City in 80, 81, and 85. And the team that beat them in the district final, Cameron in 80, Bethany Nazarene in 81, eventually won the NAIA championship. And then Southeastern Oklahoma, as Houston nails the 3, beat him and finished 3rd with Dennis Rodman in 85. So District 9 has proven to be very tough, and St. Mary's is proving to be very tough tonight. And look at the pressure out on the ball.
Yeah, they're really coming after him. With that small lineup, they've almost got to do that. They can't let the ball go inside. Good idea by Buddy Meyer. If you're going to get a small lineup in there, go after the basketball.
It's almost like St. Mary's, Larry, has gotten their 2nd win. They've really stepped up the intensity a notch here. As they kick it inside, dropped off by Kemp to Shelton in the foul. And it was Anthony Houston going after Bobby Shelton.
Was a good move by Kemp on the baseline that time to get the ball to Shelton on the baseline. On the other side.
First foul on Anthony Houston. And Bobby Shelton will go to the line for East Central University, a 72% free throw shooter. Shelton on the season averaging 13 points and 8 rebounds a game, and he hits a well, he got off to a fast start. As you see the foul trouble there, Lawson and Thomas with 4, and then Warren and Winston with 4 and 3. But Shelton got off to a really quick start, then picked up a couple of fouls and had to go out of the game and hasn't really gotten it back yet.
Rick, he's a real physical player. He's 6'6", he weighs 215 pounds. He's a banger. I mean, he goes inside, he gets a lot of rebounds. In fact, he's averaging 9 rebounds a game in this tournament, and he only averaged, what did he average, 8 during the year? Yeah.
44-41, 3-point lead for East Central. And 15 is checked back into the game. Kevin Bradsher for the Tigers. Bodie picks up that loose ball out front.
East Central a little soft on their defense. They kind of pack it back in. It's a soft man-to-man.
O'Keefe, the baseline move, and in. Good move by Steve O'Keefe on the baseline.
Shelton opened it up on the inside, and boy, O'Keefe took advantage of it.
St. Mary's has got 2 players at 5'10", and then Adrian Wright at 6 feet. Obaseki 6'2", and O'Keefe 6'5".
Kemp with a push-off. Yeah, he got him. I thought I saw that elbow fly.
And on Vernell Kemp, that will be his 2nd foul. And as I mentioned those numbers, Larry, those heights, that's the biggest difference between NAIA basketball and, say, Division I basketball. The basketball's great. It's just a little smaller. Buddy Meyer, who's been involved in this championship for so many years, his St. Mary's team trailing East Central by 1. He was asked by a San Antonio writer, he says, you know, it was a year ago that another guy won a championship here at Kemper Arena, and he's coaching in San Antonio, making about $800,000 a year, that being Larry Brad. But he says, well, I'm going to want 801 if I win this thing.
Got great personality, as does Wayne Cobb. He's enjoyable to visit with.
44-43, one-point game. That's Bodie, the freshman. Adrian Wright's 10. O'Keefe is 40 inside for St. Mary's, and that's Houston. Number 14, the Obaseki, the freshman from Nigeria.
Roger, when I was talking about East Central having a soft defense, what I mean by that is that they kind of pack it back on the inside. They're going to let the man handling the ball go ahead and handle it, and a lot of offside help. They really look to come in, and on the weak side, pull guys over to help on the strong side.
Now 10 on the shot clock, which has not been a factor in this game. Bodie sees it. They kick it outside. Adrian Wright in and out. Tipped by Obaseki, but Kemp comes away with it.
Pretty good trap right there. East Central beats a good move. Godwin down the middle. Oh, that's a great move.
And Godwin with his second field goal. And it's 46-43. It shouldn't be surprising that Kemp's the only player on the floor shooting over 50%, as he is well over 60% in this tournament. But most of his buckets are right down underneath the hoop.
Yeah, he takes those high percentage ones about 3 feet away.
46-43, three-point lead.
Again, you don't see the pressure on the ball like St. Mary's likes to put on East Central. East Central backs off a little bit, plays position defense. They keep their body between the man and the ball, or between the man and the basket, always pointing to the ball.
Such a small lineup right now for St. Mary's in Texas. Houston, the double pump, in and out, won't go, and the rebound pulled down by Bradshaw.
Houston having real difficulty with his shot right now. Got a Walker
offensive foul. That's his third.
Wayne Godwin's been handling the ball very well for East Central. Watch him make the move down inside. Boy, is that a good, strong power move? Surprised he didn't go to the free throw line. He got banged pretty good on the inside.
46-43, 9:54 left to go, and a substitute for St. Mary's right now is 51 Everett Henderson, a 6'6 sophomore from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Will check in, and Obaseki will sit down on the bench. St. Mary's enrollment of 3,500. Their conference, the heart of Texas Conference.
Roger, I talked about this at the top of the show about the fact that both of these clubs were so disciplined. They really don't turn the ball over. And in the first half, East Central had 5 turnovers, and St. Mary's only had 4. And both clubs in the second half have taken good care of.
Houston, the fake, the double pump, and he hits. Anthony Houston.
The game has been close throughout. A little bit of a run by East Central early, got them up by 6 or 7. And from that point on, it's been a close basketball game.
Anthony Houston's got 20 points now. He averages 18 on the season. 46-45, 1-point lead.
Excuse me, Roger. I was going to say, St. Mary's has backed that pressure off. They've gone back to the inside and tried to deny that pass inside of Vernell Kemp.
The three-pointer taken outside and doesn't go by Winston. Winston's hit a couple, but that has not been the shot tonight that East Central's wanted.
Another long offensive rebound for the Tigers.
And you're going to get those with a three-point shot. Kemp, look at him, the follow-away won't go, and the rebound pulled down by 51 Everett Henderson. Henderson gives him a little more board strength in there. And with 8:35 left to go, St. Mary's with a chance to take the lead on this possession. Steal by Bradshaw, and he loses it out of bounds.
You know, Roger, this game that St. Mary's is playing is reminiscent of the game they played on Saturday night when they had that big win to get them into this championship game. They had a couple of runs in the second half, and they really got 2 big shots from Anthony Houston and Ronald Thomas in the second half, 2 threes, that when they were down by 6 or 7, got them right back in the game. And then, of course, that big move by Anthony Houston with that layup to win the ball game for him.
Roderick Warren is checked back into the game. Number 21 as Bradshaw sits down for East Central University. On the baseline, Bodie misses, but the follow won't go. One more time by Henderson and in. Everett Henderson with his first basket.
Defensive pressure. Good full court pressure that time. Handled by Bobby Shelton. Godwin got it.
St. Mary's with the lead, 47-46. Kemp down low, wanted it, he got it, but was fouled by Steve O'Keefe, and that is the third on O'Keefe. You know, O'Keefe has not scored a lot. He's got 7 points, but that's right at his season average. 7 points, 5 rebounds, and he just really works his butt off, doesn't he, Larry?
Well, yeah, I think he does. You know, I got to tell you, too, Steve O'Keefe really is the kind of player that, in this situation, they really need his work down inside. He's a good defender in there. Oh, there's a big miss right there by Vernell Kemp. But they need somebody strong inside trying to keep Kemp from getting that ball. O'Keefe is doing his best.
He's been giving up his body on that job tonight, hasn't he?
It's hard work. I mean, that's the hardest work in basketball, is trying to deny a very strong player who wants the ball inside like that. Very tough defensively.
St. Mary's with the lead, 7.5 to go. They lead it 47-46. Roger Twibell, Larry Conley with you at Kemper Arena in Kansas City, Missouri. The championship game of the 52nd NAIA tournament. The 31st game of the week. Stripped outside, and boy, the official shielded O'Keefe.
Yeah, he did.
And Godwin, and the foul, and that's going to be the 4th on O'Keefe. And boy, that could be a big turnaround right there.
Boy, Roger, that was obvious. O'Keefe could not get to the basketball. He was shielded off by the official.
And Buddy Meyer is saying, just knock the official out of the way.
Here's the end of it right here. You're going to see Bobby Shelton pick it up. Here's the foul committed by O'Keefe. But the real story on that play was the fact that O'Keefe couldn't pick up the ball after it was slapped away back in his end of the court.
And Godwin misses it. So St. Mary's, who's been to the line more than East Central and taken advantage of it. East Central has missed their last 2 free throws. Godwin was able to knock that one down. So, with 7:06 by the official.
Now watch him try to go after the basketball. It's slapped away. You can't blame the official in this situation because the ball got there. O'Keefe couldn't do anything but just then retreat and get back on defense. That could be a big play.
Storyline, East Central, Vernell's Kemp with 16 points and 8 rebounds, and they're out rebounding St. Mary's 35-24. Houston with 20 points, and they're shooting 40% from the field. You might say, well, that's not a good percentage, but consider this. East Central has held their opposition to 36% from the floor in their previous tournament games.
You know, I think it's interesting, too, that they've held their opponents for the entire year to 40%.
Right. Tied at 47.
East Central picking up the defense a little bit now. A little bit more pressure on that ball.
Bodie, the freshman, inside to Houston, uses his body. What a play inside by Anthony Houston. He did a good job putting his body between the man and the basket and was able to draw the foul. And on Godwin, that's his 4th.
You think Anthony Houston may have taken a page out of a book that Vernell Kemp has been showing him all night? Look at this. Good cut across that lane. Got inside and almost got the basket.
Houston is 6 out of 6 from the free throw line and make it 7 out of 7. Foul trouble, of course, is a factor here, and fatigue will be too as we come down to the final 6:45. And he finally missed one. O'Keefe, though, got it back.
Big score. Big rebound by O'Keefe.
48-47.
Half-court game. They stack it underneath. And then they look for Houston popping back. Watch the 5 count.
That's Henderson, and he travels. Foul trouble we talked about, and it's a factor for both teams. Warren and Godwin with 4, and then for St. Mary's, Lawson, O'Keefe, and Thomas with 4 as O'Keefe continues to play while Lawson and Thomas are on the bench with 6:22 left to go. Push, and they're going to call it on 51 Everett Henderson, and that'll be his first. And
you know
got
what?
5 to get.
It's not a bad idea for St. Mary's from a strategy standpoint to begin to think about fouling Vernell Kemp only because he's a 62% free throw shooter.
And St. Mary's now with 17 fouls, and East Central still a couple more to give as Kemp goes to the line. And Vernell Kemp. Second half, St. Mary's has worked on the boards. They're out rebounding East Central.
Coming back a little bit. I'll tell you, East Central's really taking good advantage of the ones they've gotten, though, because theirs have been offensive rebounds, and a lot of them have been stickbacks.
Kemp with 18 points. And it's a 49-48 East Central lead.
Again, that stack offense down low. You'll see Houston run the offense, and a screen out top by O'Keefe. Look at the move.
Blocked, though, by Vernell Kemp.
What a block.
And quickly back to the other end is Godwin.
Look at him.
Godwin, three-point land, won't go. Shelton the offensive board, and they're going to call the foul on Roderick Warren, and that'll be his fifth.
Watch O'Keefe set the screen right here for Houston. Good move. Houston sees the opening, thinks he has an opening. Look at that block by Kemp. Ooh, that was a good block. I think maybe Bobby Shelton got that ball.
Shelton might have got a piece of it, too. So Warren has fouled out, so he is the first casualty. He fouls out with just 4 points. 10's the season average, but he did a good job, Larry, early in the game on Anthony Houston.
Well, I think the most critical part of this game for right now for East Central is to find somebody who can guard Anthony Houston. And that's the job that Roderick Warren has done tonight. And although he scored a lot of points, I think he's done a pretty good job.
Right. Terry Winston's got that responsibility at the moment. 49-48 with 5:38 left to play. Bodie off the pick. Hits! Beautiful play.
Yeah, good pass by Houston.
So Medrick Bodie off the bench with a couple of baskets. And it's St. Mary's lead.
East Central needs to look to Kemp. They've got to find him in there. St. Mary's really packing it in. There he is.
He's got it for one stepping in.
That's what you do. Take the money and put it in his hands. I'm going to tell you what, he'll make the deposit.
51-50. 5 minutes upcoming. 52nd NAIA championship in Kansas City.
Good ball game. Good close game. Both clubs playing well.
Just like their semifinal games.
Both semifinal games were 2-point wins for these two clubs.
Houston in the lane. Off the glass and in. Anthony Houston.
Now you got to expect Central to come right back. Look at Vernell Kemp again. Good trap.
Houston's got 23 points to lead all scorers. Shelton has the position down low. Bradshaw doesn't go to him.
A little different look now by East Central. They got two guys down low, screen on the other side.
Godwin, the three-pointer, hits it. And it could have been a 4-point play. Looked like he might have been fouled.
Godwin turned around immediately and looked at the official as if to say, why don't you blow that whistle?
Godwin with 11 points, and it's 54-52.
St. Mary's good offense.
Bodie.
Oh, yeah.
And the whistle out top, and the foul is going to be on Terry Winston, and that's his fourth.
You know, they could have gone either way. They could have gotten Kemp as easily as they got Winston.
Don't look at anything else besides that guy.
Three-point land. St. Mary's 2 out of 3. East Central 3 out of 15. But on the season, if you look and see what they've done from the three-point area, East Central's just 33%. Meanwhile, St. Mary's from three-point land is 41%. And St. Mary's has kicked that up to 46% during the tournament, so they're very selective with the three-point shot. They like to take it, but they've been able to drive to the hoop tonight, Larry.
Yeah, they have. And you know what they're doing? It's good screens. And what happens is East Central does not make that switch. When the screen comes out on top, you got to step out and stop that guy.
Bodie hits them both. St. Mary's tied at 54, each team with all 4 timeouts remaining. And the foul trouble, Warren is gone. Godwin and Winston with 4 apiece. Lawson, O'Keefe, and Thomas with 4. And O'Keefe has played with those 4 for quite some time. Lawson and Thomas have been on the bench. And Anthony Houston has played a big game for a man 5'10".
So as Vernell Kemp on the other side for East Central. He does his work inside. Houston does his on the outside. Good press. They got it? No.
And they're going to call traveling. Anthony Houston was right there trying to draw the charge. Godwin saw him and shuffled the foot. And so with 3:52 to go and the score tied at 54, St. Mary's will have a chance to take the lead as 34 has checked back into the game. Zachary Lawson.
Was that a great time to throw that press out there? Caught East Central off guard. They got the turnover.
Thomas is also back in the game right now and traveling out in front of Thomas. Seems like every time St. Mary's gets an opportunity when they've created something defensively, they come back and they turn it over on offense.
Here comes the press again by St. Mary's. Now it's a man-to-man. They used his zone the last trip. Now man-to-man pressure. Good move down on the inside by Bradshaw there.
Godwin, Bradshaw, Shelton, Winston, and
Kemp really working on the inside to try to deny that ball.
They go to Shelton. The turnaround shot short. Bounces outside to Godwin, though.
Another offensive rebound for East Central. Shelton calling for it. Kemp wants it on the other side. Look at that. O'Keefe and Kemp really going at each other.
And that's going to be it for Steve O'Keefe. And
this is NBA right here. This is May playoff stuff in the NBA. Look at that. O'Keefe trying to work his way around. Got called for the foul.
Steve O'Keefe with 7 points. Has not left the floor yet. Taking his time, and finally Everett Henderson will get up. O'Keefe's family in mass here from Atchison, Kansas, about 65, 70 miles north, sitting behind the St. Mary's bench, and quite a thrill for this young man to come back home and play in this championship game.
I tell you what, he's really done a pretty good job of trying to keep that ball away from Kemp down inside. It seems like most of Kemp's points have come on offensive stickbacks. He's gotten the rebound off on the offensive glass and stuck it back in. Very few from just inside passes.
East Central with 18 second chance points, and it's tied at 54, isn't it? This is the NAIA first team. Steve Adams of West Baptist in Oregon. Joe Belling of Belmont, Tennessee, led the nation scoring. Anthony Blakely of Panhandle State in Oklahoma. Willie Davis of Alderson Broadhouse in West Virginia. Eric Harris from Langston. And they have 10 players in the first team, as it should be, because there's always a lot of controversies in their way.
Good group of players right there. You know, they put 10 players on this group. Joe Bellick, you can see the other 5 players right here. Holmes from Southern Arkansas. Anthony Houston in this game from St. Mary's of Texas. Philip Hutchison from David Lipscomb. Nick Sanford from Lincoln Memorial in Tennessee. And Darren Walls from Waynesburg in Pennsylvania.
Might add that David Lipscomb was the #1 rated team in the NAIA this year for most of the year, and they were upset. They were also the highest scoring team.
An observation to make about those first 10 players. You notice that 3 of them were from the state of Tennessee. 3 of the 10. 30% of their All-Americans.
Well, the Memphis area has been turning out great players for a long time. As Kemp.
And you're going to kick it off in Bowling Green.
Yeah. Get out of there. I'll be the first one in and the first one out. As Bodie checks in, so Kemp hits them both. And with 3:09 to go, it's a 2-point lead for East Central.
Well, let's take a look and see if Anthony Houston begins to take over this basketball game. He did in that semifinal game the other night, and I really think they've got to look to his leadership right now. He's the senior on this club. He's led them all year long. Is he going to do it? I think he wants to do it.
Thomas is 42 out top. Bodie is 20. And there he is on the runner. Off the back of the rim. Won't go, and Godwin comes up. And the whistle on Thomas, and that's going to be his 5th.
Tough miss by Anthony Houston. He had a wide open shot down in there.
Ronald Thomas, who has been averaging 15 points a game on the season, had just 1 field goal in this game and 7 points. As Adrian Wright will check in. And so the crucial thing now for East Central are the free throws as they continue to go to the line, and St. Mary's got a problem because East Central's got a couple more fouls to give.
Well, East Central not a real good free throw shooting team. They're 67%, but they got the right guy up there right now. He's shooting 70. Right at 70.
Their coach, Wayne Cobb, had an interesting comment. He says, I don't care about not being ranked. I don't care about not being seeded. You can have all those things. He says the important thing is we're in the championship game, so he says all that's irrelevant. 57-54. And the fouls on Vernell Kemp. That's the 3rd on him. Yeah, I'm surprised Paparonis hasn't played in the second half for East Central. He was such a factor on the boards, and that's really where St. Mary's has picked it up at in the second half.
Yeah, I agree. Been sitting over there with his warm-up on this whole second half.
Zachary Lawson will go to the line. 60% free throw shooter. Lawson with 4, and he hits that one. See, Warren is out for East Central, then O'Keefe and Thomas, and Lawson at the line with 4.
You know, I talked about the top of the show. I really felt like St. Mary's was a deeper club. They could go deeper on their bench, much deeper than East Central. They've already lost 1, and that may be all they can afford.
Full court pressure. They break it. They've got a 2-on-1 alley-oop to Kemp from Shelton, and Shelton gets it back.
Boy, they were lucky. They were very
I'll tell you what, Cobb is pointing a finger at Shelton over on the bench. Win or lose, he's going to hear about that pass. Shelton on the baseline, misses, tipped around. Bodie loses it.
They lost it and got it back. East Central back in business.
Bradshaw out on top. Winston is 11. Godwin 10. Shelton 33, and he sets a pick on the baseline for Kemp.
Kemp doesn't want it. First time on the baseline I've seen him not want the basketball.
1:50 left to go. Three-pointer won't go from outside by Winston, as he has just been he's not been able to knock down that three-point shot. And the rebound by Lawson, and with 1:40 remaining, St. Mary's trails by 1.
Roger, I was shocked that time. Kemp did not want the basketball. He's been calling for it all night. Just when they need him to get one down inside, he didn't want it.
Maybe he's tired.
That could be.
Five
Could well
games
be.
in 6 days, and all those people leaning on him all night. Adrian Wright. No whistle. Boy, Wright got nailed on the arm, and there was no whistle. 1:12 left. East Central leads it by 1. And the whistle and the foul's going to be on East Central.
Roger, time before when they were on offense, watch East Central. Look at this. You see right there? He waved the pass off. He didn't want it. He wanted a shot from the outside. I think maybe he is somewhat fatigued.
And he just committed his 4th foul. And, you know, when a player he's picked up 2 fouls now in the last minute. And we talked at the top about the fatigue factor. 6 games in 5 days. And a timeout right now by East Central with 1:09 left to go. And East Central leads by 1. And the timeouts, East Central with 4, St. Mary's with 2. And 1:09 remaining in this NAIA championship game. Here's a look at the East Central University bench. Foul trouble. And it's been a factor in this game as Warren is fouled out for East Central. Godwin, Kemp, and Winston all with 4. O'Keefe and Thomas have already exited for St. Mary's, and Lawson has 4. But East Central still has a couple of fouls to waste, Larry.
Yeah, Everett Henderson is going to walk to the line now with 1 and 1. He's a 50% free throw shooter. You think these are pressure shots? Yeah, 1 minute and 9 seconds left for the national championship.
They've just called a timeout, so maybe they're going to use one of those 4 to put the freeze on 51. The sophomore from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who has only been to the line, Larry, 7 times this year.
They called timeout so that I didn't make a mistake, right?
We went into this game thinking that East Central was going to be a basketball game that wanted to go inside.
Locate your man. Locate your man. Know where he is. You go to the free throw situation, locate it. All right? 1 ball possession. We need 2, and we need a ball possession. That's going to pass up the scoring opportunity. Pass up the scoring opportunity. Look inside. Just keep looking inside. Looking inside. When we get down to 10 seconds, look at the shot.
Well, the obvious thing that Buddy Meyer's telling his club is that from a defensive standpoint, he wants to have them set coming out of that free throw. Because if they get in position, whether he misses or makes it, they've got to know who they're going to be guarding. You know they're going to put good man-to-man pressure coming out of this free throw. Made or missed.
Vernell Kemp, who has been the leading scorer for East Central. We talked about him at the top. Anthony Houston, leading scorer for St. Mary's. We talked about him at the top. As Everett Henderson goes to the line for the 1 and 1. Only his 8th free throw.
Hey, like that, baby.
He can probably tell you where everyone took place.
See that rattler on his left sleeve right there?
We're tied at 57. But is strong, and Kemp the rebound. Stripped away, though. Bodie made the play to strip it from Kemp. It went off the hand of Godwin. It's St. Mary's basketball with 1:07 to go.
Bodie sneaked in there and just picked his pocket. Look at him come down with that ball. Godwin trying to pick it up, and it rolls right off his fingertips. Oh, that's a big play.
Larry, did they run the clock all the way down?
I don't know. They got about, what?
20-second
difference? I believe I'd go ahead and try to put one up if I had a chance. They're not going to, though, looks like. Looks like they're going to run that clock.
Bradshaw's on Houston. Houston goes fine, puts it up, and count it!
No.
Oh, no, they wave it off. Man. Did Houston turn on the Jets?
Indeed he did. Blow and go down the lane. Look at that move. I'll tell you what, he was weaving down that lane. Oh, that was a great move. Anthony Houston.
Foul was on Bradshaw, his first. And Houston, 7 out of 8 at the foul line. Oh, he missed that when he knew it. Oh, he got it to go. Houston thought he had missed it, and he left the foul line and ran in to get the rebound.
He ran to the left side. He ran to the left side. The ball was already released, and now it hit the rim, and he thought he missed it.
Get lucky, and you know he's going to make the second one. 59-57, 45 seconds in.
All right, now chance for East Central. Now he wants it back. Cornell Kemp calling for it. He wants the ball.
He's got Everett Henderson trying to front him.
Good defense by St. Mary's. They're keeping it away from him. Now he's got it. Push. Got to push from the backside. Everett Henderson.
The foul on Everett Henderson is his second.
Look at this body movement. Look at Henderson trying to keep the ball away from him. Kemp really asking. He says, give me the ball. Give me the ball. From the top or from the wing. Get it to me. Look at 5 white jerseys surrounding him. They got 5 guys ready to collapse.
They bring in Joe Baker and Obaseki right now, and the 2 little guys, so they get some rebounding in there, will come out. Now, Vernell Kemp is 6 out of 8 at the free throw line. He's got 22 points, and this is a 1-and-1.
Left. Think this one's big?
59-58, St. Mary's lead.
All your life, you can say you were the national champion.
Missed it, and Lawson pulls it down. Oh, and he throws it away. Houston got it. Wide open is Baker. He got it.
They've got to go for a 3. They've got 18 seconds left.
61,
they're down by 3.
58, and St. Mary's wants a timeout. Lawson looked like he threw the ball away, and Houston just flew out and found the ball and the open man. We'll be right back.